And now I'm delighted to invite this year's student speaker, Mohamed Albirair.
Good evening. I was only told that I had 3 minutes. I am definitely going to go a little bit beyond, hopefully not much beyond. Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you all. My name is Mohamed Albirair. I am from Sudan. And as you can see, I'm wearing the traditional Sudanese menswear, the jallabiya, and, uh, and the shal. And you might want to take a good look because the reality is you might not see a Sudanese person coming from Sudan in the near future. The country has been going through, has been at war for over 2 years, and unfortunately, people from Sudan are now banned to enter the United States. But I am thankful that my in-laws were able to make it just a day before this ban was executed. That I'll remain hopeful that I'll be able to see my own parents soon. It's a big deal for us, international students in particular, to be here. It's a big deal to be admitted to a university such as the University of Washington. It's a big deal to go through the visa process and get the visa and actually be here. And we make it and we go through the journey and we grow as professionals, the way we talk, the way we communicate, the way we do science, the way we competed with the global workforce. And in the midst of all of that, I think we tend to forget or maybe overlook how we project our cultural values and the values that we hold dearly. And I wanted to take this opportunity to express a cultural value that, again, we hold dearly. And for people from my culture, from my background, will relate to this. So there is an Egyptian poet, Ahmed Shawqi, who said, قم للمعلم وفه التبجيل كاد المعلم أن يكون رسولا, which translates to stand up for the teacher and pay them their due reverence. For the teacher status is almost as high as that of a prophet. And I would love to invite you all, especially my colleagues in the program and the department, and all guests are also invited to stand up and pay respect to our teachers. I mean, thank you. We call you by your first names. We text you. We run into your offices without appointments. That's very different from how we do business back home. And you welcome all of that with warm hearts. And we truly, I can say on behalf of my colleagues, we truly appreciate that. And we thank you for all what you've done for us. Ten years ago, I witnessed the celebration and the graduation of the very first implementation science PhD holder, Dr. Peter Cherotich. And today I'm in his position. I cannot claim that I'm the first graduate, but I'm honored to be a graduate of the institution that is the first in the world to offer an implementation science a PhD degree. So what is it about implementation science that we are studying? When people ask me this question, I used to joke about it and say, if you ask 10 people what implementation science is, they'll give you 13 answers. But the reality is, this is actually the beauty of it, is that it's a field that grows and builds on different fields, different disciplines. different methods, all converging into the goal of actually knowing how to get things done, knowing how to get what is ought to be done. And just thinking of one example that we've all experienced, COVID has just been, we've just been through the pandemic, and it changed the way we live, the way we work, the way we interact. It changed a lot about our lives. We're still, our life will not be the same, only because of what we've experienced in COVID. And not too long after COVID had started, we've had interventions that we know were effective. We know we had vaccines that were 94% effective. We had other public health measures, social distancing, masking, all of these interventions that the evidence base for which are established already. But it took us a bit of a while to control the pandemic, right? And you might want to ask, why was that the case? Did we rather need a vaccine that was 98% effective, or did we need better actual implementation and adoption and actually doing the things that we know work? So that's the key realization that we all have to keep in mind, especially now. And a lot of speakers before have pointed to the difficult times that we're having today, that we're living today. The whole field of public health is being challenged, is being constrained, is being under prioritized, right, or deprioritized. And even more so for the field of implementation science, which might be thought of as a luxury or so. And yeah, it is a challenging time. But with that, I want to leave my fellow colleagues, graduates and colleagues in the program, and folks who might want to, at one point consider getting a PhD in implementation science. I want to leave you all with 3 messages. The first is your cohort is your strongest asset, is your the biggest strength point you might have. And when I say cohort, I don't want to limit it to the people who started the program with you. As you go through the years, we all are one cohort. I will always remember these beautiful faces, and I will always think of you all as my cohort and colleagues. And just I want to tell a story about that. When I first joined the program, in my very first year, 2 of my wonderful colleagues and friends recommended that I take Ruth Etzioni's class. And they said, Mohamed, you will love that class and you will connect with her very well. And little did I know then, she's today my dissertation chair. And I don't know what they saw in me back then, but they did see something. And I hold that up to today. I hold it very dearly. And I think, all of you will recognize each and everyone's skills, potential, and support one another. So keep doing that and embrace that. My second message, please always open your hearts, your minds, and your Zoom cameras to learn. I think, speaking of Zoom cameras, I think, technology should not limit how we interact with one another. I think we should always be open, always be vulnerable, and take every opportunity that we have to discuss and engage and reflect on what we know and reflect on what we think. Join one another's presentations, defense, work in progress, all of that, and engage and discuss it. This is how you push what you know and what you learn, push it even forwards. This is how you get to test what you know and examine and see it from other people's perspective. This is how we developed. And on that note, I once took a class, it's a music class, by Michael Parrington from the School of Music. And he said something that resonated and stuck with me since then. He said, practice not only until you get it right, but until you can never get it wrong. So in your case, whatever skill that you think you want to develop and refine, practice, 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 whether it's writing, whether it's coding in R, whether it's data analysis, whatever. And my final message, we are in the field of global health. I believe we have a global responsibility to understand what is happening in the world, what is happening right now. The world is full of problems and challenges, not only related to health, but even beyond. I think we all, now that we got our degree, we are entitled to learn. So I think we need to apply that and learn and know, understand what is happening in the world, continue to support one another. I have faith that even though we're transitioning from this beautiful, peaceful space into a world of uncertainties, but I have faith that with the skills that we've developed, with the network that we've built, that we will prevail and our field will prevail. And I quote my wonderful friend, Catherine, that I had a conversation with recently. She said, we're public health people. We're good at making order out of chaos. And I will leave you with that.